Coming up on Mountain News this morning, two children are dead after separate ATV crashes. Plus, a Senate bill that could establish Kentucky's own version of the Department of Government Efficiency.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and a happy Tuesday to you. It is March 4th and my name's Amelia Lee here with you at 5:31, which means it is time to check in with our friend meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a look at that forecast this morning. And Megan, we are in a first alert weather day. I know you've been talking about that wind, other things going on with the weather. So let us know, what can we expect for our day ahead?
Well, the main threat that we're looking at are those wind speeds. We're already starting to see winds picking up as you're traveling more towards the west this morning, specifically towards portions of Monticello. Look at that, 15-mile-per-hour winds. Now, this is not wind gusts. This is just the sustained winds. We'll see those winds continue to increase throughout the day with wind gusts in the 20s this morning. And then as we travel into the midday hours, seeing the 30s and then the 40s as you go into the overnight hours. We're really going to see some quite fast wind speeds with sustained winds between 5 to 20 miles per hour throughout the next couple of hours and into your Wednesday. Here's a look at satellite radar this morning, though. We are looking nice and clear, just watching those clouds move through, and it's going to be quite the cloudy day, so be prepared for that. Not going to see much of the sun, although those temperatures won't be too bad. This morning we're in the low 30s, with some places seeing the 40s. And then as we head into the afternoon, you can expect the mid to upper 60s, with some standout cities hitting that 70-degree mark. So, you know, all in all, not too bad of a day until you, of course, head into the overnight hours and those storm chances really start to ramp up as we're going into the nighttime. Here's a look at the next 12 hours. We'll start to see those temperatures warming up and seeing the 60s as we head into the afternoon. Amelia.
Thank you, Megan. Well, one person is dead after a restaurant caught fire in Harrogate, Tennessee. The Claiborne County Sheriff told our sister station in Knoxville that the Bronco Mexican restaurant caught fire, which prompted responses from police and firefighters in the area. After the fire was put out, firefighters found a body in the building. No word on the name of the person who was found. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is looking into the fire. Several communities are coming together to help a family through a tragic loss after an 11-year-old boy died in Washington County. Benton Boone Lester died after the ATV he was on crashed near his home in the Mackville community. Deputies with the sheriff's office say Lester was operating the ATV when it dropped off the side before hitting a culvert. Benton's pastor, Jordan Simpson, says he truly lived a full life, from the farm to the fields, with faith at the center.
I call him Davy Crockett Jr. He just lived the outdoors. But all along with that, Benton had one of the most sweetest, purest hearts of anybody I've ever met. I think to best describe him, he was about a 70-year-old man trapped in a 11-year-old body. He loved to go up to the country store and have breakfast with the old-timers and swap stories, and that was his generation.
The funeral for Lester will be at 2 o'clock on Friday at Perryville Baptist. Meanwhile, in Lawrence County, loved ones began paying their respects last night to a 14-year-old who was killed in an ATV accident Friday evening. Eric Harper's death is another tragic reminder of the potential dangers that come with ATVs. Andrew Colgrove spoke with family and friends mourning the loss.
A cross and flowers on this hillside serve as a memorial to a 14-year-old at the site where he lost his life.
He was full of joy.
Eric Harper's mother says he was riding his ATV alone along Brushy Creek Road near their home in Blaine when he apparently lost control. She says somebody driving by saw that a crash had occurred and told a neighbor to call 911. Eric did not survive his injuries.
He's just such a good guy.
Friends say he was well liked by everyone who knew him and had an enormous heart.
Literally give the clothes off his back, I swear to God. Like the rims on my floor came from Eric. He just gave them to me.
You just got near him and you just felt good. Like, he was such a funny person, a good personality.
They say riding his ATV was his favorite thing to do.
When you live out in Blaine and Brushy, it kind of gives you like something to just to get out the house and, you know, something to do.
It's the only thing you really love doing.
Eric had been homeschooled a little more than a year after his older brother died. The 14-year-old will be buried next to him on the family's property.
We it just breaks my heart, and like for his loved ones and like his family and friends, it just kind of hurts me to see them all like this.
Eric's mother says he would wear a helmet the majority of the time while riding, but was not in this case. She says she would urge parents of other kids to always force them to have their helmets on while riding. Andrew Colgrove, WSAZ, Lawrence County.
The funeral will be at Wilson Funeral Home in Louisa today at noon. An Eastern Kentucky man was sentenced to 35 years in prison for the production of child pornography. According to Dustin Newsom's plea agreement in August 2023, the parent of a minor called police and reported that she found vape cartridges in her child's room. The victim said they received the cartridges and a new cell phone from Newsom. Police later discovered Newsom had devices in his home containing sexually explicit media of at least 4 minors. 2 people are facing charges after police found drugs during a traffic stop in Pulaski County. It started when police noticed a vehicle committing traffic violations in the Shopville area on Sunday. When police asked David Derek Lewis and Christina Allred to get out of the car, they found a host of drugs, including fentanyl inside. Both are facing several drug charges. Additionally, Lewis was charged with committing multiple traffic offenses. The head of Kroger has abruptly resigned. CEO Rodney McMullen got his start working at a Lexington Kroger in 1978. He resigned after an investigation into his personal conduct. Kroger said it found MC McMullen's behavior inconsistent with the company's ethics politics, and that his stepping down is not related to the company's financial performance, operations, or reporting. The Lexington Herald Leader reports McMullen is a Pineville native. Folks in Knox County are mourning the loss of a former judge. Louis Black Hopper died on Saturday in 1984. Hopper was elected circuit court judge in Knox and Laurel counties and served until his retirement in 2005. And here are the funeral arrangements for Hopper. Visitation is from 5 until 9 on Friday evening and 10 a.m. until noon at the Hopper Funeral Home in Barberville. The funeral will follow the visitation period on Saturday. Judge Hopper was 79 years old. Much of the nation remains divided over the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Some see its changes as a way to save money, while others believe services will be cut by removing essential workers. But now, Kentuckians could see a similar version of DOGE here in the Commonwealth. A bill to create a Department of Government Efficiency for Kentucky state government passed through a committee yesterday morning. Kentucky auditor and Eastern Kentucky native Allison Ball says her office's mission for efficiency and transparency would be assisted by Senate Bill 257's establishment of a Kentucky Office for Government Efficiency.
Efficiency is something that you need to look at every year. New people come into office, new programs get implemented. It's not a one-shot deal to make sure you're fixing everything and you're good forever.
According to the 2024 state expenditure report from the National Association of Budget Officers, Kentucky spent the 5th most on state expenditures in the southeast region of the U.S. That jumped to 3rd highest in the region per capita. And DOGE is also planning several new cuts to federal offices in Kentucky. That's according to the department's website. Some in our area include the Office of U.S. Attorneys in London and the Mine Safety and Health Administration in Barberville, Hazard, Harlan, and Prestonsburg. A bill aiming to financially prepare students for their futures is one step closer to reality. House Bill 342 would require that high school juniors and seniors get 1 credit in financial literacy. Representative Michael Meredith sponsors the bill. He says it provides kids guidance on how to make positive decisions with their money and make them aware of the long-term repercussions of bad decisions. The bill now goes to the Senate. Kentucky lawmakers are cracking down on what they call predatory practices by consulting firms who charge veterans for assistance with disability claims. Advocates say these unaccredited consultants charge veterans large fees to help them file their disability claim, with false promises of being able to get them a higher disability rating. Senate Bill 198 passed through the Senate Committee on Veterans, Military Affairs, and Public Protection last week.
So let's say you did give from 0 to 100%. Then you get that $4,000 a month. Well, then not only did you owe them $20,000, but you also owed them $200, $300, $400, $500, $600 a month for who knows how long.
The bill also targets deceptive business practices by banning aggressive solicitation and misleading advertisements. It now heads to the full Senate for consideration. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says despite harsh winter weather recently, construction crews are making progress on the Fishing Creek Bridge in Pulaski County. That work began back in October. The Transportation Cabinet says crews completed the first deck pour last week, and the second pour is scheduled for this week, weather permitting. The project is on schedule to be finished by mid-April. Transportation Cabinet officials say Kentucky 3351 in Perry County will be closed later this week. On Thursday and March 10th, next Monday, officials say that road will be closed due to a break in pavement. The road will be closed from 8 in the morning until 5 in the evening on those 2 days. Officials say drivers can use Kentucky 80 and Kentucky 476 to bypass the roadwork.